Caitlin's journey in the league is becoming more interesting, and it's only getting better. The more people try to bring her down, the more her popularity grows. She's now attracting over 16,000 fans per game, and every place she plays is sold out. Celebrities are showing up to watch her, and courtside tickets are selling for as much as $2,000. This is very different from the league's usual attendance of about 5,000 fans per game. Sometimes, even those numbers seem too high when you see how empty the stands look on TV. Even though she was left out of Team USA, Caitlin's success can't be denied. Her impact is clear, and it's helping everyone around her. As the team aims for its 8th straight championship, building the best team is more important than ever. Caitlin is a big part of that plan, and she's proving that she's ready to lead. Recently, she got her first triple-double, a big achievement that she had almost reached in earlier games, sometimes missing by just 1 or 2 rebounds. Even more amazing, she's the first rookie in history to average 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. This shows that her critics are wrong. And let's not forget about the player who got a big shoe deal. She quickly started talking badly about Caitlin. But now, it's clear that Caitlin is letting her performance speak for itself, and the results are proving her worth. It wasn't bad, it was the Super Bowl, and she said they had beaten them 3 times already. They really won those 3 times, so of course the other team didn't want to lose a 4th time.
This is our Super Bowl game. I mean, we've beaten them 3 times this year already. We knew they were going to come into this game really hungry, and it's tough to beat a team 4 times.
I wanted to continue from where we stopped and talk about all the new things happening, because with these girls, there's always something new every day. I saw a guy explaining some stats about what's really going on, and this is what he said. You don't need to explain yourself, man. He said what he said, and that's it.
Oh, he said a lot. He said a lot. He said a lot. Ticket sales grew in 2023 by 16% from 2022. Ticket sales have grown by 93% in 2024. The WNBA had grown by 40% viewership. But with Caitlin Clark's arrival, it's grown by 400% viewership. She did in 5 weeks what would have taken 5 years.
When they went on strike, I saw the numbers shoot up from 16% to 100% and from 40% to 4,000%. Things weren't growing before, but then she came in and made huge changes in just a few weeks. Changes that took others 30 years to achieve. Suddenly, 16,000 people were watching, and over 6,000 fans came to see her play. They had to move her games to a bigger arena because they sold way more tickets than expected. It's crazy that they thought they could fit everyone in a small high school gym. What were they thinking? It was like they didn't realize how big this was going to be. What do you mean she's on 20,000 tickets? In the previous video, I didn't get to mention more former WNBA players who had something to say. But I recently came across this one woman, and I thought it would be interesting to check her out. I figured you guys might find this intriguing too. To be fair, she mentioned that when she was playing, which was a long time ago, way before basketball was even invented, they had to use a men's basketball.
I am the hidden figure, but no longer now. My record was hidden from everyone for 43 years. 43 years. I don't think, I'll just go ahead and get the elephant out of the room. I don't think my record has been broken because you can't duplicate what you're not duplicating. And so unless you come with a men's basketball and a 2-point shot, hey,
That's just how things were back then. She held the record for 40 years, consistently making 2-point shots. But nobody seemed to care much. The main point is, instead of quickly criticizing without saying anything positive, remember that you don't owe Caitlin anything. It's your life. And Caitlin never did anything for you. No one knew about your record, and now it's broken. It's okay to acknowledge that it was a long-standing record for 40 years and say, yeah, good for her. I'm glad she had the chance to break it. But I do want to mention that the record was set under different circumstances. There weren't any 3-pointers back then. and we used a men's basketball. I'm not trying to take anything away from her achievement, but you don't even have to be overly nice. Just be calm and respectful about it. As for Cheryl Swoops, whose name I've heard before, but never really knew who she was, she's apparently considered the greatest WNBA player ever, or something like that. She made some controversial comments about Caitlin, which isn't surprising because it seems like some older players just can't keep their opinions to themselves. So here's what she said.
This isn't just for Caitlin, but you asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
Okay.
But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
It took over 100 games, maybe 120, of constantly shooting those threes. And now you're saying it only took 13 fewer games. Plus, you're mentioning she had an extra year due to COVID? Cheryl Swoops mentioned that Caitlin kept playing until she was 25 years old or something like that. She literally said she was 25. Hold on a second. She's not even 25 yet. You're saying she's 25, but that's not true. She got drafted at 22, and this is just her first season. She's still 22, not 25, and I'm late like someone reacting to this. They're just making stuff up at this point. Another player has spoken out about Caitlin, and I somehow missed this one too. She's a WNBA player who appeared on Gil's podcast, Agent Zero's podcast, and here's what she had to say about Ice Cube offering Caitlin $5 million to join the Big Three. Like I mentioned in the last video, the Big Three is a league that features 3-on-3 games, with retired NBA players or current pros who are playing overseas and are a bit older. Think someone whose NBA career has ended, and now, at 37, they're playing internationally. Ice Cube wanted to bring in the first female player, specifically Caitlin Clark, and was willing to offer her $5 million to play in the Big Three. Here's what the WNBA player had to say on Gil's podcast.
If you open the article and you see what's his reasoning, he wanted to provide more opportunities for WNBA players and provide opportunities to not go overseas. So you offered the contract to a player who's not yet even in the WNBA.
If you had given that opportunity to Angel Reese, she wouldn't have had anything negative to say. No one would have been better for it. She would have kept quiet, maybe even praised it. People would be applauding, posting on social media, saying how amazing it is that Ice Cube is supporting these young women coming out of college and giving them a chance. They'd be celebrating him as a hero. But if you're not on her level, making those big plays, then there's nothing to discuss. Lastly, let's talk about Diana Taurasi. If you haven't heard of her, she's widely regarded as the greatest player in WNBA history. Now in her 20th season, Taurasi is in her 40s. Before Caitlin Clark entered the league, Diana had some interesting comments about Caitlin. Hold on a minute. Where's the so-called white privilege? Diana's white, so why didn't she blow up the WNBA if it's all about white privilege like they say? Shouldn't people be tuning in just because she's white and they want to see themselves represented in the league or whatever? Diana's been doing her thing for 20 years. I've seen some of her highlights. She plays like Kobe, hitting mid-range shots and everything. But if white privilege is real, why didn't she become a superstar? Oh, because she's boring, right? A total snooze fest. Nobody wanted to watch her. 3 national championships, but who even knew? She's not like Caleb Moore, who lost all those games. Did she even win any? I'm not sure, but I know about her. For 20 years, she's never experienced anything like this. She looks up and is shocked, saying, "Oh my God, there's someone all the way in the back row. I didn't even realize we had seats back there." 17,000 people packed the arena, the biggest crowd she had ever seen. She was completely shocked, couldn't believe all those folks came out to watch the girls play basketball. After the press conference, she was like, "Wow, I knew people were interested, but I never imagined this many would show up." This is the largest crowd I've ever seen in one place in my entire life. She could only express gratitude, saying the kindest words because she was thinking, I'm about to retire, and now the WNBA is blowing up like this? Where was Caitlin when I was coming up? Where was my break? So that's the latest on Caitlin. She's really making waves. I mean, she's out there getting triple doubles, surpassing her idol, and still on top as a Rookie of the Year contender. Plus, she's got a $28 million shoe deal, but that leaves us with some questions. Is this momentum ever going to stop? Are they ever going to stop guarding her full court? And what do you all think about her getting snubbed from the Olympic team? They said they needed the 15 best players, and she didn't make the cut because she hasn't earned it yet. Despite those 20,000 fans in the stands, while we struggle to get 30 at our games. Do you think she's going to win Rookie of the Year over Angel Reese? I feel like Angel Reese is in the lead right now, but who knows? I see this as something that might eventually die down, because let's face it, we live in a fast-paced world where people's attention spans are short. So yeah, this might be huge now, but it could taper off. Caitlin will always be Caitlin Clark, though. She'll still have that recognition and fame for the rest of her life because she had her moment. Maybe the WNBA viewership and game attendance will level off, not quite going back to where it was before she came on the scene, but finding a good middle ground. But hey, if her popularity keeps growing, that's great for her. It will show the people who doubt her in the league that she's the real deal and can make a big difference. If more people keep supporting her, it will just prove that she's really good at what she does. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this whole situation. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed this discussion, and if you want to stay updated with more content like this, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.